Well, I think that most projects start out with well, wouldn't it be cool if, wouldn't it be neat if we did this, or wouldn't it be cool if we built that, or, and that's kind of how this car started. It was, wow, wouldn't it be cool if, I built a 3.5 CSL, but had everything with all modern driveline and suspension. And in 1993, it was when I had come up with, doing the project. It was before, the words, the terms recreation or tribute car or anything like that were around. So I started compiling all the bits and pieces back in 93, the fender flares and the spoiler, the hood, the deck lid, rear deck lid. In 1995, I got the engine. It's a 1991 BMW M5 S38 engine. And then in 2000, I got the chassis. So these are photos of the chassis. I got them. The car came out of California. It's a BMW recycling place that out in Sun Valley, California, and this is how the car was found out there. It was a relatively rust-free car. It was in pretty good shape, and basically I bought it as just a rolling chassis. So I didn't have the hood, the deck lid, doors were off of it. It was pretty much gutted. The only thing that really had in it was the suspension, the front and rear suspension. That was it. So I brought it back and dipped it. It lost 151 pounds in the dipping process. And from there, came back, nice shiny clean metal. And then all the work started. A lot of fabrication, had to make pretty much everything on the car. And again, I weighed the car before and after the dipping process, and it was 550 pounds, just the bare bones chassis after dipping. So it went from that to that. After 9 years. I guess we'll go through, starting with the engine and getting into that end of it, and then just kind of working our way back. We'll start with the engine. This is the M5 engine that's in the car. It's an S38 engine. We moved the engine back about 6 inches. The firewall was cut out, and a new firewall had to be made for it. The tubing for the cage extends through the firewall and ties into the shock towers. The shock towers, we put new shock towers in it. I had brand new shock towers from BMW, so everything's all solid seam welded, and it's very tight. The whole front end of the car is very tight as far as how the cage was done and how the welding was done. This is a Griffin aluminum radiator, and what we did was, you can pull these 2 pins here and the hood comes off relatively easy, and then with 2 button heads you can remove this panel here, and which makes engine removal a lot easier. Things like the airbox had to be fabricated. Everything from the mass airflow back is, is as they originally were. All the brakes, everything is all Wilwood, and Wilwood brakes all around. 6-piston calipers with 13-inch Coleman rotors, front and rear. As far as the engine goes, it's a 6-cylinder, straight 6, which they originally had 6 cylinders, so I wanted to keep it a 6-cylinder to keep it true to what it originally was. So I didn't want to go dropping an 8 or an 8-cylinder into it, for instance. The engine itself, of course, all the there was a lot of plumbing in front there for water pump. That was all removed. Pollution control stuff, and then everything was everything is as new as it can possibly be. Engine removal is relatively easy. We made it so that you basically unplug the main plug here. There's a few fittings, some minor plumbing here and there. Removing the radiator is just simply pulling one fastener, the whole radiator pops out. So everything is very accessible and easy to install and remove and reinstall. A lot of things were moved from not just the firewall, but down to little things like windshield wiper motor and all the master cylinders, all the just about everything that you can think of was gone through on it. And as you can see, if I don't have an original. Just an original CSL or CS coupe, but it was there was a lot of fabricating here. So I guess in the next videos we'll be moving around a little bit, to the different parts of the car. The reason for the gray was that it's not black. Just real quick, with the colors, black you lose everything in black. You can't find anything, and with the gray, it's a nice mechanical color. And not only is it a nice mechanical color, you don't lose. The engine looks, like all the mechanical pieces that are in the car look better. Again, it's a more mechanical color, whereas the black you tend to lose everything. That's pretty much it up here, and I'm getting down to my 10-minute limit here, so I guess we'll cut off here and we'll move on to the next video.